Welcome to Protein Powders 101. In this video, I want to teach you all about protein powders, the different types of protein powders, the different sources. Should you be putting your money in a specific type of protein powder? Is a certain type of protein powder more effective than another? After this video, you should know everything about protein powders. Hi, I'm Maël, I'm a nutritionist and sports nutritionist, and as a nutrition professional, I need to know which supplements are worth it. Which supplements should you put your money in, which supplements are effective, and this is why I'm making this video today. We are going to start with protein powders in general. Do they work? Yes, definitely. Protein powders are a great tool to increase your overall protein intake throughout the day. It is low calorie, it is convenient, and it is cheap. It is also very effective at stimulating muscle protein synthesis. Alright, starting with the animal side of things, with the dairy protein powders. We have two main categories. We have whey and casein. Whey is a type of protein powder that is digested faster than casein, whereas casein forms a gel-like substance upon meeting with your stomach acid, which makes it digest a lot slower. Overall, whey is often better tolerated during the day, around workouts, due to its fast digestion. It doesn't really feel heavy. That means it is also not a very filling source of protein. On the other hand, casein is a lot more filling, it's slower digesting, and there is a lot of good evidence on its specific properties at stimulating MPS over a long period of time, specifically overnight. Subjects taking casein pre-bed, so elevated MPS rates over the night, which potentially could benefit your recovery or your muscle growth. There is also a third form of dairy protein that we don't really see a lot in itself as a supplement, but it is often used in the formulation of other protein powders. It's called milk protein isolate. It is just a mix of 80% casein, 20% isolate. So it is probably sort of a cheaper protein source. Okay, let's talk about whey protein. Whey protein is broken down into isolate, hydroisolate, and concentrate. These are the three forms of whey protein. Concentrate is a less processed form of whey. It contains carbohydrates and fats, as well as lactose. Isolate, on the other hand, has been processed to remove most of the other macronutrients, as well as lactose, making it a great lactose intolerant option. Obviously, concentrate is going to be a lot cheaper than isolate. Lastly, hydrolysate or hydrolyzed protein is a protein that has already been pre-digested with enzymes to facilitate digestion. It's much more expensive than isolate or concentrate, with not a lot of extra benefits. To recap the dairy protein side of things, we've got two categories. Whey, which is fast digesting, comes in isolate, which is low calories, almost no lactose. Another form is concentrate. It's high calories, but contains lactose, but it is cheaper. Casein is the other type of dairy protein. It is slow digesting. It's a heavier protein powder that may not mix as well, but it shows good evidence as a tool to boost muscle protein synthesis overnight by taking it right before bed. Moving on. There's also more niche animal protein powders. We've got beef and egg white protein powders. Starting with beef protein powder, it is often made out of hydrolyzed beef. I don't really see much of a use for it. It is often an inferior source of protein as it is mostly made from connective tissues, meaning bones and cartilage, which makes it mostly a collagen protein powder. Collagen protein is, yes, maybe good for hair, nails, skin, and joints. However, it is definitely not as good as other forms of proteins in terms of muscle building. It lacks a lot of the BCAAs, specifically leucine, which is the most anabolic amino acid out there. It is also very low in tryptophan, which is an essential amino acid. So overall, collagen protein powder is not a good muscle building protein powder. Beef protein powders are often marketed towards the primal man, the man that needs to stay away from the goy dairy protein powders. Well, turns out not really that useful. Our other niche animal protein powder, egg white protein powder. It is not particularly expensive. It is dairy free. It handles heat a lot better than whey. And it is a complete protein powder. So honestly, it does sound like a pretty good source of protein. It is probably a bit less available than other forms, but if you're lactose intolerant and want to try it out, I don't see any issues with that. To recap these niche animal protein powders, we've got beef protein, which is pretty mid. It's mostly collagen protein, which is less muscle building. And then there's the egg white protein powder, which seems pretty good. It is a cheap dairy-free alternative, and it handles heat better than dairy proteins, making it a good solution for baking with protein powder. Okay, another type of protein powder, quite trendy lately, protein water. Protein water, this will depend on the formulation. If it's a protein water that has been formulated using collagen-based protein powder, then it will not be adequate for muscle building. We just mentioned earlier, collagen protein is very low in leucine and other BCAAs, which are the main driver of muscle protein synthesis, so it makes it an inferior protein powder in terms of muscle building. Now you might think, well, I'll just get this protein powder for my hair, nails, skin and joints. Well, collagen in itself as a supplement needs to be processed to a certain molecule size to be best absorbed by the body, specifically for the joint benefits, which in protein waters, this is often not indicated. So we can only imagine one thing, it's that then these molecules are not the right size. So when buying a protein water, you're really not getting any benefits out of this product, whether it's for muscle or joints. It's pretty much a waste of money. If that protein water is formulated with both collagen and whey protein, then it might be alright in terms of anabolism. Now, I do think that they are way too expensive for what they are. No pun intended with whey. So really, I don't see any advantages over just normal whey protein powder, apart from the adult children in a room who can't handle normal protein powder, so they need their little sweet little drink. Okay, last type of protein powder in this video, we've got the plant proteins. There are three main types of plant proteins that are commercialized at this stage. We've got pea, soy, and fava bean. Obviously, there's little obscure plant protein powders, but I won't mention them because they're often not available for everyone in the world. The uniqueness of plant protein powders is that they are obviously dairy-free, but they're also a lot more sustainable to produce. So if you're worried about sustainability and your impact on the environment, then plant protein powders could be a good tool. Now, they're basically all as effective as animal ones in terms of stimulation of muscle protein synthesis. Specifically speaking, soy protein powder comes in isolate or concentrate form, and here it's going to be just like whey. We've got the isolate, which is 90% protein, whereas concentrate is 60% protein with some carbs and other nutrients. Now, in terms of prices for plant protein powders, there's quite a wide range. You can find super expensive plant protein powders that are marketed towards vegan, natural, mums, and every single buzzword that you can think of. Obviously, this is a complete scam. These plant protein powders are often quite cheap to produce as well, so there's no reason why you should spend extra bucks on a plant protein powder because of some of the buzzwords on the package. On the other hand, you can find very cheap protein powders on supplement websites, simply because some of these plant protein powders do have quite a shit taste to them, and so these supplement shops try to get rid of them when they get sort of close to expiry date. So you can score some pretty good deals if you're not worried about the taste. To recap, plant proteins are just as good as dairy protein powders. They're becoming more popular and cheaper. But be careful of the scammy brands who are selling you a premium vegan whatever you want protein powder alternative for extra bucks for no reason. Just get the cheap one with a flavor that you like. So that's it. Apart from beef, protein water, and expensive plant protein powders, I don't have any issues with any of the other protein powders. Obviously, most common one, whey protein powder, standard, most flavors taste good, most formulations mix well nowadays, so I always recommend whey protein, but honestly, whatever rocks your boat. And especially if you're dairy intolerant, then you have a few options other than plant protein powders with the isolate and the egg white protein powder. Other than that, that's it. I hope this helped you navigate the market of protein powders and that you will increase your protein intake thanks to this video. See you in the next video. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I love you.